everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. It feels like a very long time since I have made a video. It feels like a very long time since July's TBR. Let's say that July was very busy. I didn't actually get a lot of reading done. You'll learn all about that in my July reading wrap up, which is coming up later this week or next week. And so what I've come to understand about my reading for this, really since May, this has been going on for my TBRs, is that I can't put too much pressure on myself right now to read because it's just all over the place. My reading is just all over the place. So I'm doing my best to go easy on myself and enjoy what summer reading I can fit in. So in case you are new here, I have been doing seasonally themed TBRs during the year of 2022. I did winter's theme in January, I did spring's theme in May, and now that it's August, this is when I'm going to be doing my summer reading, along with some other reading, which I will get to as well. So I am a judge for the BookTubePrize. If you don't know what that is, I will link something down below that explains it all to you, but we are moving into the finals, and for the BookTubePrize this year, I was reading in the translated fiction category, which works out very well for me because August is also Women in Translation Month, and I am reading 2 books this month that are translated. One for the BookTubePrize and one not. So the one for the BookTubePrize is The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World by Laura Imai Messina, and that is translated from the Italian, and I will put the translator's name down here because I forgot to look that up in advance. So this is my audio listen for August. And this book is set in Japan post-tsunami, the 2011 tsunami. And it is about a phone booth that is set up on someone's property along the coast of Japan. And people who have lost someone in the tsunami go to this phone booth and talk to whomever they wish as a form of catharsis, as a form of dealing with their grief. And so this book follows a few different characters who are interacting with this phone booth, and it has quite a lyrical style to it. The other book that I am reading for Women in Translation is the Summer Book by Tove Jensen. Tove Jensen is a Finnish author, or was a Finnish author, whose mother tongue was Swedish. And this book was translated by Teal. And this is set on an island in Finland with a grandmother and her granddaughter. And they go to spend the summer together on this little island. And it's a novel that Tove Jensen wrote. She was also a very famous cartoonist. She did the Moomins, if you've ever heard of those. And so the Summer Book is kind of her most famous novel for adults, but she did do extensive writing for children with her Moomin series, and they're very beloved around the world. So I did watch a film about Tove Jensen years and years ago, and it was after watching that film that I put the Summer Book onto my TBR, so I'm excited to get to it this summer. To continue on with the spring theme now, my words for the titles for the books in my spring themed TBR were heat, summer, and sun. And so, well, this is kind of the same. Elegies for the Hot Season by Sandra McPherson is a book of poetry that I found in San Jose at a secondhand bookstore when I was there several years ago. And Sandra McPherson graduated from Jose State College, and these poems were, you know, she got some awards for these poems. And I love this book. It's a beautiful printing. It has lovely plates with some, it looks like woodcuts in them. So the book itself is this lovely object to me, and I'm excited to read these poems, and I'm hoping that some of them evoke heat and warmth and the summer kind of vibes. The cover certainly does. I love this hot pink on top of the orange. It's really beautiful. Okay, so the next book on my summer TBR is The Summer Before the War by Helen Simonson. And this is a historical fiction book set, obviously, in the summer before World War I. And it follows a spinster, a 23-year-old spinster, who traveled with her father and had an unconventional upbringing, and who goes to a small seaside town in Sussex to become the Latin teacher at the school there. And it follows, you know, the members of the town, and I think there'll be a romance in it as well. And I enjoy learning about that period. I've read a couple other historical fictions that were set right before the war or just after World War I. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this. This actually went onto my TBR when I saw it at the library. I saw the cover, and there was something about the cover that drew me in, and I just really liked the title as well. So that's where that came from. I think the main character's name is Beatrice. Yeah. And then the last book that is on my summer TBR is The Summer Without Men, a novel by Siri Hustvedt. This is a story of a woman who is kind of thrown into turmoil when her husband wants to see other people, and she goes off on her own for the summer to explore and try to find out who she is and kind of reinvent herself. And this is potentially going to be my last Siri Hustvedt. I'll say that. I watched an interview with her many years ago. I then read, now I can't remember the name of it, but one of her later novels than this. This is one of her earlier novels. And The Blazing World. The Blazing World. I'll put the title down here if that's not correct. And there were parts of that novel that I loved and parts of it that I really didn't like. And so since then, I've also read one of Siri Hustvedt's essay collections. And again, there were parts of it that I really liked and parts of it that I didn't. So this is kind of my third time's a charm with Siri Hustvedt. I think it's possible to really like an author and who the author is without really liking the way they write. And so this is going to be my last attempt at one of her novels. If I really like this one, I will continue and read more. If I don't really like this one, I'm going to just pass on Siri Hustvedt and accept that her work is just probably not for me as much as I admire her as a person. Okay, and so the last book I'm going to talk about today on my TBR is Carrie, a memoir of survival on stolen land by Toni Jensen. Toni Jensen is a Métis author who lives in the United States. This memoir covers issues like gun control, women's rights, and the violence that kind of carries over into some Indigenous communities around land being stolen, and then also women's bodies and how they're treated. I love this cover so much. I think it's absolutely stunning. And this is part of my 5-star predictions list for 2022, which is a series of memoirs. And I wanted to just keep going. I read one last month, and so I want to read one this month as well. So this is the next one that I'm going to read. So those are the books that I will be reading for August. Because I have stayed in the same category throughout each round of the BookTube Prize, I only have 3 books that I need to read for the finals. And so I'm reading one this month, and the other 2 will be in my September TBR. So I hope that your summer reading is going a bit better than mine. and feels a little bit less chaotic than mine does. And I will be back again soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.